Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon all of you who are attending this gathering. I would like to thank all of you for coming on a very, I know it's a Saturday, all of you must have some programs, but you made changes to your programs and made it to this gathering. So may God bless all of us. I don't want to speak for long because I just went outside to pray and the aroma of food had filled the hallway. So I thought that, I should not be speaking for long. I'll just take 3-4 minutes and then we'll go for dinner. In our Muslim tradition, we talk about all the prophets, from Prophet Adam to Prophet Muhammad. And we try to follow on their footsteps. And one of the things that we find in the life of Prophet Muhammad is that when he lived for 53 years of his life in a city called Makkah, then he migrated from Makkah to a city called Medina. Now the difference between these two cities were very clear. Anybody can see that in Makkah, people who would call themselves mushrikeen, or people who would worship idols. They have no religion, but they would be worshipping idols. And there are 360 idols, one for each day. So they would be worshipping their idols. So Prophet Muhammad lived with them for 53 years of his life. He called them towards the oneness of God. Thousands of them accepted that message, but many of them rejected. But then what happened was that when he moved to Medina, and he lived there for 10 years of his life, and he passed away in Medina, and his grave is there. What we learned from his life in Medina is that when he came to Medina, there were Jews living, Christians living. And from the moment he arrived in Medina, he started organizing interfaith gatherings. He would go to Christian and Jews and sit with them and talk to them and eat with them. And he continued this trend for 10 years of his life till he passed away and left this world. So much so that he would go to their houses when they were invited over dinner and lunch, and he will invite them as well. So a very good atmosphere of mutual understanding was created in Medina. And people of all faith were living in Medina with complete peace. And so I believe that at this moment, the world needs that environment that Prophet Muhammad created in Medina. An environment of mutual understanding, this acceptance that we are different, but still we are all children of Adam and Eve. We are all the creation of God. We could be calling upon Him with different names, but we are still His creation. And we agree to disagree on different things, but we are not going to make those things the dividing point. So this effort today, the effort of having an interfaith dinner, is the same thing what Prophet Muhammad did. We are trying to follow on his footsteps. We want to live in Orlando. We want to make this city a city where Muslims respect people of other faiths, and they want people of other faiths to respect the faith of Muslims as well. We want to live peacefully with people of all faiths. We have our children here. Our children are going to schools here. This is their country. They are going to live here for the rest of their lives, and they are going to grow up here. And we want a good future for them in this country as well. And we could do that when we have mutual understanding and gatherings like this. where we are willing to understand each other's. I have Mr. Brian here. Mr. Brian, can you just... By faith he is Jewish, but he is one of my very close friends. Can I call that? Few weeks ago, he called me and he invited me for dinner at his home. And it was last Friday, I guess. Last Friday. And it was a dinner over his religious festival or tradition called Passover. I went there and he said, Imam, please come with your family. I said, yes, I'll be there with my family. And the second thing that Mr. Brian told me was that, Imam, don't worry, I'll go to a Muslim store and bring halal meat. So I went there and I was there at his home, and we really, I spent nearly 4 hours in his house. I met his dad, a remarkable man, a retired New York lawyer. He told me about his experiences in Middle Eastern countries. I met his brother and other members of his family. And now, at my invitation, he is here. So this is, I have Mr. Kaufman here. I think all of you are familiar with him. A very prominent person in interfaith efforts. I'm really thankful for him that he came on the Saturday night. I have Mr. Kevin from FBI. He is here, although I invited him, I think, a week ago only, or maybe 5 days ago. And I thought actually we have sent you an email, but when I was checking, his email was not there, so I personally invited him. We have these two wonderful gentlemen who came from the Orange County.
Orange City.
Sorry?
Orange City.
City.
Orange City.
I'm sorry, Orange City. And they were here Friday, and we had a nice meeting, and they tried to understand our faith, and we were trying to help them in the best way possible. Similarly, people from other churches, I know many of you are here. I will not be able to recognize each one of you individually. I met with all of you. May God bless all of you, and may God accept your efforts.